Hi loves, welcome back to another interesting tutorial with Eco Designs to Fit. In my last video, I shared with you guys how to draft and cut this beautiful blouse with a trending sleeve, and in today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to sew them together. If this sounds like what you're interested in learning, keep on watching. Let's get started. So guys, on top of the table are my pattern pieces which we drafted out in my previous tutorial. Now, if you haven't seen that particular video, I'm going to be linking it in the description box, so you go check it out before continuing with this one. So I have my center front, the side front, the center back, and the side back on top of the table. These are all the material I'll be working with. I have my fusible interfacing the hairstay and the paper gum 1 yard for each of it, and I have my crepe fabric 2 yards, and also my lining fabric. Cotton lining is what I'm using. I have 2 yards as well. So I'll go ahead and place this on top the table. First of all, I'm going to interface my crepe and my lining. The crepe, I'll be using hairstay, and for the lining, I'll be using a paper gum. I have done that and placed it on top the table. The lining pieces is under the actual fabric, okay, and I've added my seam allowances all around it. For the center front, you're going to add 1/2 inch allowance because you need to create a sewing line at the center front. It's not going to be cut on fold, and all around all my pattern I added half inch. To the down part I added 1 inch, and for my side seam allowance I added 1.5 inches. Okay, so this is basically what I am trying to show you on top the table, as you can see. So you can see for the back pattern I also added 1/2 inch to the upper part. The side I added 1/2 inch. Now for the zipper allowance I added just 1 inch. Okay, for the zipper allowance of the back I added just 1 inch, and then for the down part I added 1 inch as well, and for the side seam allowance of the back I also added 1.5 inches. Now we are going to go ahead and cut it out. Just like I told you previously, I did not cut my center front on fold. Okay, I added 1/2 inch seam allowance because I need to have a style line right at the center of my front, okay, just like you can see on the inspiration. So I'm trying to cut this out. I am done cutting out the center front, and I'm cutting out the side front as well right now, you can see. So whatever it is I'm doing right here, go ahead and follow that same step, and you're going to get exactly what I have just achieved. Okay, so guys, as you can see, I'm almost done with the cutting of the side fronts. After this I'll move over to the back, so we cut it out as well. And you guys, this is what we achieved. Now I'm going to remove the patterns, so I will show you guys how to join this together. Okay, we are going to start by joining the actual fabric together, which is the crepe fabric, and after that we're going to go ahead and join the lining piece as well. So whatever it is I'm doing for the actual fabric, I'm going to repeat that same thing for the lining fabric. Okay, I hope you understand me. So now these are my 2 center front pieces, remember, because we have a style line right at the front. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and place it right side facing each other and stitch it with 1/2 inch, which I added for the sewing allowance. And after that I will go ahead and sew the 2 sides on both sides, just like I showed you right now. Now after this I'm going to move over to the back. Now these are my 4 pieces for the back. Okay, remember the back is being divided into 4. We have the center back, which is 2 pieces, and we have the side back, which is 2 pieces. So I'm going to place it just like this and stitch it with 1/2 inch. So guys, as you can see, I am done joining these pieces together. So I have my actual fabric on top of the table right now. This is the front part of it. As you can see, I have my style line right at the center front, and then this is my back pieces. Okay, now this same thing I'm going to repeat it for the lining piece as well. So here is the lining on top of the table. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and join the side seam of both the front and the back together. So we are going to start with the actual fabric at first. Now you're going to make sure that the back and the front are right side facing each other, and you're going to go ahead and stitch the side seam using the exact seam allowance that you added right there. For mine, I'm going to be using 1.5 inches, and I will do that for both the lining and the actual fabric. Okay, so guys, I am done with that, and this is what I have achieved. This is my actual fabric, and here is the lining piece. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and cut off like half an inch from my lining piece. But before I do that, I'm also going to reduce my side seam allowance, okay, because it is too much. Remember, we added 1.5 inches and our sewing is going to be in seam sewing. Okay, I hope you understand. Okay, this type of sewing that you will not see the seam allowance showing on the outside. Okay, so it's going to be neatly finished. Now I went ahead to redo the side seam allowance, okay, leaving just half an inch, and after that, just like I said before, I went ahead to reduce the damp part of my lining with just half an inch, as you can see. So what you're going to do is basically just to mark out half an inch all around the hemline, and then go ahead and trim it out. This will help the lining not to poke out by the time you turn your actual fabric with the lining. Okay, now after that, remember we did not pad the bustier. Okay, we are going to be using a ready-made bra cup. First of all, I'm going to shape my upper part of the bra cup so that it will have enough room to accommodate my bust, and after that I will fold it into two and locate the middle part of my bra cup, and then I will go ahead and make sure it matches the under bust point just like this, and I will stitch it up. But before that, you're going to have to use your pin, okay, to secure right on the underbust. So if you take a look at the clip I'm showing you right here, this is the exact thing that I did. You can see I'm trying to use my pins to hold it in place before fixing in the bra cup, and afterwards I went ahead to stitch it, and this is what I was able to achieve. Okay, so kindly do yours like that. Some people also tack it without sewing, so whatever it is, however you know how to do that, go ahead and do yours like that. Okay, so and remember please, this was done on the lining piece. Okay, now here is my actual fabric. We are going to have to go ahead and sew in our sleeve, and to do that, if you notice from the inspiration, you have to come out from the dart line by 1 inch, and that is what I'm trying to do. And from the side seam allowance, you also have to go in by 1 inch for the front part. Okay, now for the back part, from the darts I went in by 1 inch as well, and from the side seam allowance I also went in by 1 inch. Okay, this means that I'll be sewing in my sleeve 1 inch away from that of the front and that of the back. All right, I'll repeat the same thing for the back, which is what I'm trying to show you right now, and after that I will go ahead and show you guys what the sleeve looks like. I went ahead to cut the sleeve off camera because it is so simple, but I'm going to explain how I did that. Place your fabric on fold, okay, and then cut out the length of your sleeve. For the length of this, my sleeve is 13.5 initially, but I went ahead to use 14.5 because half an inch is what I'm going to use to sew it into my sleeve. Now the wideness is 13 inches. So after cutting on fold, I went ahead to sew in the part which is open, and then I went ahead to turn it over to the good part. After that, I ironed it so that the part that I sewed stays in the middle. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys how to stitch this into the main fabric. First of all, we are going to be sewing into the main fabric. So now the part which you top stitched, because the middle part which you turned over stays in the middle, right? Now the edges for both the upper part and the other side is being top stitched with a tie stitch. So that part is where you're going to pleat on this part of the blouse. Do you understand? So this is what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to do it on the part of the front of my blouse first. after stitching it, this is what I achieved. Can you see? Now after this, I'm now going to go ahead and flip it over like this so that it goes to the back part of my blouse, and then I will also pleat it. Now I'm basically pleating it on the 2.5 inches mark that I made right there. Okay, make sure that the width of that your sleeve enters into the 2.5 inches mark that you marked out. Now after doing this for one part of the sleeve, I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other side, and after that, you guys, this is what I have. You can see. So this is what the sleeve is looking like. You can see that it's actually very simple, and this is what the other side look like. Okay, now we are going to go ahead and turn this over with our lining. So I'll go ahead and bring in my lining piece, and I'll be making sure that the right sides are facing each other, which is the right side for the actual fabric and the lining, as you can see on the screen right now. And then I'm going to align each of the important places, which is the center front of the actual fabric and the center front of the lining should match each other, and then the side seam of each of the parts should also match each other, and then the darts of the back as well should also match each other. Okay, so you can see how I'm trying to arrange this. After arranging it in place, I'm going to go ahead and stitch it up with 1/2 inch. I hope you guys understand, but first of all, you have to hold this with your pin, as you can see me doing like this. Using your pin right here is very, very important. And after matching it up together, go ahead and stitch it using 1/2 inch, and after that go ahead and top stitch it and equally sew the down parts, okay, using 1/2 inch. So this means that you're going to be turning it out from the zipper allowance, and after turning it, go ahead and stitch up the zipper allowance with the rough edge, and then go ahead and measure out your zipper allowance, which is 1 inch. Sew with a loose stitch and then give it a good press, okay, so that the line of your zipper will be able to be prominent. Okay, so you can see after stitching that of the zipper allowance, you will notice that you will have your lines of the zipper allowance right there. And then you guys, after removing my thread, because I sewed with a loose stitch, I'm going to go fix in my zipper into the blouse, and then after that I will show you guys what we were able to come out with. So guys, this is the final look of this blouse. You can see it is looking all nice and clean, and I hope you guys find this tutorial helpful. If you do, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share this particular video so that more people can get to see it. I will see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.